First off, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those apostles and elders from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways preaching this truth around the four corners of the earth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that you guys may be sealed soon. And with that, this your brother the Waba from the branch of GMS here in Chicago, coming right back at you with a little lesson. And as you see on my phone screen here, I got Integrated Preparedness 9427. The title of his lesson is Dark Days Ahead. Are you ready? This guy named Steve Smith. I listen to him quite honest. I listen to him quite often. Not honest, quite often. And I would advise brothers, to subscribe. He says a lot of things. He actually even has information at times that, I'm quite sure brothers can use. And a lot of times he says a lot of things that's just good for lessons. And this particular time he says something that's just good for a lesson. And it's not about it's the dark days ahead, but what he made a point was that you determine your own destiny, pretty much is what he's saying. You to determine your own destiny. You determine your life once all hell breaks loose. And in all honesty, that's bullshit. The Lord determines everything, not you. So I'm gonna sit up here and let him play for about a minute, and I'm gonna grab a few scriptures that's just gonna totally debunk all the bullshit he's saying. But here we go.
I just read an article, a column here about, well, I'll just let you pick this up from the column, but the point is this, is that you are in control of how you take what happens in life, okay? A lot of people, especially people in the preparedness world, I mean, if you watch the preparedness channels, 80% of them are boo-hoo, life is horrible, life is hard, but I can't do this, not my fault, and not your fault, it's just a terrible world. Well, the world is the world, and whether it's terrible or not and if it has a terrible effect on you, is totally up to you. That's what preparedness is about.
So we're going to end it there. There's a few other things he said. Actually, the video is decent if you just want to hear the other stuff he talks about. But we're going to end it right there. No, the Lord controls everything, not you. The Lord controls all things, not you. And I'm going to grab a few scriptures. So, the first scripture I want to sit up here and grab is that, see, people sit up here and think that they control their own lives and they do their own thing. Everything was predestined. Everything was already ordained. Everything was already mapped out before you were even born, for the earth was even here. So to sit up here and say that you control your destiny and your will and all this other shit, no. But with that, let's grab a few scriptures. And the first scripture I want to sit up here and grab is a goodie. Isaiah 45. Was it 47? No, it's 45 and 7, I believe. It says, this is Isaiah 45 and 5. It says, I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west, that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So the Lord does everything, period. And this right here is just the beginning of one of the scriptures I just want to use. The Lord controls everything, whether it's peace, whether it's darkness, whether it's light, whether you die, He controls all things. Let's go to another one. Like I said, these are just the warm-ups. This is Deuteronomy 32. And what is that, 39? It says, see now that I, even I am He, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. The Lord said, I kill and make alive. So what do you mean that you control your destiny? What do you mean you control whether you live? No. The Lord controls all things. Point blank. Period. Now this right here, these two scriptures let you know that the Lord has control over everything. Life and death, evil, good. He controls it all. The right side, the left side, the evil and the good. He controls it all. So now let's go into another scripture where it sit up here. It says where, now I'm going to grab this one before I grab the other one I want. Let's go to Proverbs 21. It says, Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the river of water, he turn it whithersoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the heart. But here it is. But the first point was the point I want to make. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart means lav, which means mind, is in the hand of the Lord. So the king's mind is in the hand of the Lord. As rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord controls everything, controls the mind. So if you think you're doing something, no. You got to understand, everything was already written out. So your whole life was already planned before you was even born. So how do you control anything? You don't control shit. We living out like in a movie, like the scriptures, script. That's where you get scriptures from, the movie scriptures. When you go into scriptures, it's a script. We living out already that life. We just living it out until it ends, And all the elect, and as a man, and as a hopeful elect, all I can sit up here and pray is that the Lord has salvation and mercy on me. That's it. I controls nothing. Not a goddamn thing. All I can do is pray that the Lord finds me worthy of salvation. That's it. So let's go to Proverbs 20 and 24. It says, a man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? There you go. I mean, every scripture that I've just read debunks that you control anything. You controls nothing. Not a goddamn thing. You Edomites were made for the Lord to show his power. That was it. Y'all were made as the whooping sticks. Y'all were made to punish the Israelites, who are the so-called black, Latinos, and Native Americans. Y'all are the so-called white people. Really, you're the red people. So you controls nothing. You were made to do a job. And that was it. No more, no less. As a matter of fact, let's sit up here and get a scripture on that. Let's go to Romans. Go to Romans 9. And we can go to a few other scriptures, but I'm going to go to Romans 9 real quick. And get this. Now, I'm going to start at 21. It says, hath not the potter the power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured much long suffering, the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction? Who's the vessel of wrath fitted for destruction? Esau, Edom. He going to have indignation with y'all forever. Fitted for destruction. It says, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy which he had afore prepared unto glory. Afore prepared. So all this stuff was written aforetime. So how in the hell do you think you control anything? You control nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Nothing. Not even the words coming out of your goddamn mouth. Nothing. Who are the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction? Esau, Edom, Malachi 1 and 4. The border of wickedness, who the Lord said he has righteous anger toward forever. And you're going to be destroyed. The only thing as a hopeful elect, and we say hopeful elect, but who's doing this work? Who's out there on the highways and byways, whether it's rain, sleet, or snow, whether it's warm or cold, no matter what, doing this, putting out the work. So right now, we always say hopeful elect, but you got to have that belief too, and I truly believe that the Lord got me. That's it. I truly believe that. I just pray I could endure it. Pray that I have that salvation he endured to the end. That's it. But you got to have belief in the Lord, man. Without faith, it's impossible to believe him. You can't be walking around here faithless. I'm gonna grab one more scripture, and this I'm gonna end it with that. And this is Psalms. I want to say maybe 145. Might be about 145. I think it's 145. Psalms 145. Yeah, here it is. This is Psalms 145 and 20. The Lord preserveth all them that love him. All them that love him. How you show Lord the love? By keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. As a matter of fact, when you go into Ecclesiastes, I think it's 12 and 13, or I think it's 12 and 13, when it says, the fear of the Lord. You love, the first thing is fear. Fear is the beginning of knowledge and wisdom. And then keep the laws, statutes, commandments. It says, Psalms 145 and 20, the Lord preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. There you go. I don't have to say nothing else. That scripture speaks for itself. All them that love him, and that's only the so-called Black Latinos and Native Americans, the Israelites, Yasharallah, he, Prince Power, and those are only the elect right now, because 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed over here in America, aka Babylon the Great. They're going to come back right in the kingdom. So the ones the Lord to love right now is only the elect. He don't love the 2/3. They're the heathen right now. They act like the other nations, and they're going to be destroyed. But they're going to come back right in the kingdom and have and have a beauty in the kingdom. Now everybody else gonna go into these servitude, and Esau, Edom gonna go into these servitude for 1,000 years, and then they're gonna be destroyed. But all the other nations after that 1,000 years is gonna at least be able to have their own lands. But they're gonna have to live by our rules, But that speaks for itself. I don't have to say anything else. But all the wicked will he destroy. So all the wicked is about to be destroyed. 2/3 of our people, and the wicked who was created to be the wicked Esau, Edom, which over here in America, aka Babylon the Great, is majority of you wicked ass Edomites, and then over there in our land, which will be destroyed, but at least that part of the land over there in where them fake Jews are in Jerusalem, that's going to be built back up. So with that, I hope this was edifying. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those apostles and elders from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways preaching this truth around the four corners of earth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that you guys may be sealed sooner. With that, I always say stay prayed up, brothers. Pray for each other, because we almost up out of here. So with that, I like to say Kwam Yasharella and a Baba Ball and Anya Habatham Malakia. Shalom.